that was a weird few sort of months afterwards because you feel you try to, when it's like you're watching a movie and you know, like you know the outcome now, so you can look back at the movie. It's like the second time you watch a movie,
Mm-hmm.
like you know what's going to happen, so you can look back and you can see, they shouldn't go in there, he
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do this,
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't do that because this. So it's like you start looking back at all these little points of, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that, I should have done this,
Mm-hmm.
should have done that. And then very sort of anxious, and you doubt yourself and sort of a bit unconfident. But then it was it was I got over it. Not like you just kind of I got over it. My friend Simon, who's like a really good cinematographer friend of mine, he would just like he came and picked me up from the station when I got back to Reading, because I live slightly outside of London. I live in next sort of county,
Mm-hmm.
and he come and picked me up. And then it must have been probably about 2 days later, he had a shoot to do, and he just called me up. He was like, "Just come on the shoot," uh, because I was in my I didn't want to go out. Didn't want to leave my house. I felt sad inside. I felt anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I felt unconfident. I felt like, and you're questioning yourself constantly, like, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Yeah.
And Simon called me, and he had a music video shoot to do, and he was just like, yeah, just come out, like, come and pick me up, took me out. And it was little things like that that helped, because he took me out, and his clients who were shooting for, they were like a local band.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of knew me, and he kind of told them what happened, and those guys were really, like, they spoke to me about it as well. And it was just little things like that that just help you sort of understand, like, it's not your fault,
Right, right, right.
like,
Yeah.
and it's criminals' fault,
Yeah.
like,
Not to stop you, but I'm gonna stop you for a second
yeah, it's
because
cool.
I'm sure like the insurance company was trying to find out if you were
Yeah,
involved,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. That's
also,
what it was. Yeah,
yeah,
like
and
the insurance company, they ask. I understand why they have to do their job.
mhm,
They ask a lot of questions, and they ask for a lot of sort of details, like a lot of stuff about yourself, like uh, and try to pinpoint everything about what happened on the
mhm,
day. They try to get every detail, and then stuff about yourself,
mhm,
like they try to work it all out as well. And that's what happens is, like, they ask way more thorough questions than the police. The police just looked at it and was like, "There's no leads. This is going nowhere."
right, right,
Like, left it. But the insurers, they really, like, ask so many questions.
yeah,
That,
because they got money on the line and they're
yeah,
trying to, yeah,
yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that got through. That was good. And the actual, I mean, the recent breaking at the home studio, that had me a little bit anxious because it was a home studio. But then I kind of had to sit down and think about things logically, in the sense that, like, because I was sitting there and I was thinking, I left all the, for the next few days afterwards, I left all the lights on, walk out with my dog at night time, check everything's cool, walk the dog around the bushes, the fences,
mm-hmm,
everything. For the next probably week, I
yeah,
was doing that. Um, and then I had to sit down and think about it logically and say, no one's watching the house. No one's watching the garden aiming to break in, because if they were,
mm-hmm,
houses would be getting broken into every month. Like,
mm-hmm,
if someone was sitting there watching your daily routine
mm-hmm,
sort of all the time, your house would be getting broken into month after month sort of
right,
thing.
right, right,
Like, so I had to think about it logically and say, the last time I was broken into was, probably 8 years ago, something like that. So, got to understand, no one's sitting there watching the house. So, and then that just, makes things easier,
yeah,
because it's just this sort of a, it's just a weird feeling, like anything, like you get broken into, you feel like someone sort of comes sort of force their way into your space.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, and it's kind of, you feel a bit violated in the way that like someone's come, like forced way into your space, broken in, like a space that should be safe. Everyone should feel safe in
Yeah.
their home, in their garden, in their, if they have a little building out shed or something, you should be able to feel safe there. You shouldn't have to feel scared.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then yeah, and like I was saying to you on text, is what was interesting out of that is kind of the only, so I which, and this is another uh funny thing, lucky thing, whatever you want to call it, like you know, whatever we believe in, people believe in, you know, the universe, fate, God,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I had my two bags. So I have a, like a camera bag and an audio bag.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I had these in my bedroom, and usually I'll keep these in my home studio. But again, something was like, I was just feeling lazy.
Mm.
Like I was working in my studio up until about 9 p.m. on the night or the morning after when it happened. But I was working in on my laptop, and you know, usually I'll put my equipment in the studio and put it into, have a sort of cupboard shelves, like just a small thing made out of plastic.
Mm.
But I was just being lazy. I just couldn't be bothered to carry all my bags
Mm-hmm.
to my home studio, and it's not far at all. It's just a walk in my garden. But I was just feeling lazy,
Mm.
so I went in there, did some work on my laptop, and walked back. I left my camera bag and my audio bag in there, which it didn't have all my equipment, but it
Mm.
had like my latest camera, my latest lens, and like some audio equipment for like podcasting. So like 4 sort of handheld microphones, little Zoom H2 recorder. So probably the equipment that I use the most and the newest sort of stuff I got was left in my room. So that actually didn't get stolen. So either some intuition
Mm.
came across somehow by, and in me, it was me just feeling lazy, or all the other stuff there is out there to believe in as well,
Mm.
whatever sort of message was given to me.
Mm.
And yeah, so it's like currently I have one camera, one lens, and my portable audio recorder, and my laptop,
Mm.
and that's it.
Mm.
And the the weird sort of feeling is I had this sense, weird sort of sense of, I felt like a little bit free, as in, like I used to have a lot of equipment, and you know, you just, as a creative, sometimes you gather loads of equipment because there's stuff you buy because you want, and you think you're going to use it
Mhm.
every single day,
Mhm.
and you end up playing about on it for the first 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and then you use it like once a month or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
And so I'd have all these random lenses, sometimes old audio interfaces,
Mm.
just in the cupboard, things like this. And I had all this sort of equipment that I never wanted to sell or give away, but at
Mm.
the same time I wasn't using it. I was
Mhm.
definitely not getting the use out of it which justifies having it.
Mm. Mm.
But then at the same time, I never wanted to sell it because of. So it's like, in a way, I had this sort of guess clutter in a way of good technical equipment.
Right.
So it's like sometimes I would feel like I have a lot of equipment,
Mm.
which I don't necessarily need.
Mhm.
But then I think I will use it often. But then, so when all this stuff got stolen, it's like this sense of like, I've always kind of in the back of my head thought I need less possessions.
Yeah.
Like I would need to have a bit less of equipment. I need to strip down to what I just use and focus on those things. And then this happened. And it's like it's like forced upon me to lose my possessions.
Mm.
And it was like, okay, I've got one camera, one lens, my little Zoom H2 audio recorder. I don't even have an audio interface. So I haven't even able to use my monitors because they took my audio interface that was on my desk.
Wow.
Um, so I was like, kind of just work on my laptop with headphones. But it was like I'm making it work,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of feels good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have loads of equipment, um, and it's this sense of freedom. I guess some people call it, sort of a bit more minimalism or um, that sort of movement. But it is it was weird, and it kind of feels good. I still kind of feel good, and it kind of makes me think like whenever this insurance money will be paid out, I'm going to be a bit more thoughtful about the equipment I buy, not just buy lots of lenses and audio equipment because I think that's what I need
Mm.
or because I want that. I think I need to be a bit more thoughtful about the equipment I really need, not what I want.
Yeah, yeah.